Well, for more on everything that's going on here in Philadelphia and this raucous beginning to the convention, I'm joined by Democratic Senator Chris Coons. He sits on the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Coons, this was not the opening to the convention that the Democratic Party and the Hillary Clinton campaign would have liked.
Well, what you're seeing behind me right now is an opening where the former mayor of Denver, Wellington Webb, is urging the delegates to cheer for both Senator Sanders and Secretary Clinton. And as you may have just heard, there was a rousing, positive, unified cheer. There have been some hiccups today. Obviously, the DNC emails and the resignation. Wasserman Schultz had been a little more bumpy of an opening than we would have hoped for.
Bumpy of an opening. I was up here and we were hearing loud boos when Hillary Clinton's name was mentioned.
But frankly, later tonight, what I expect to hear from Senator Sanders is a full-throated endorsement of Secretary Clinton. And I'm excited this week to hear as Tim Kaine, the senator from Virginia, is nominated for vice president, a truly progressive, strong, and capable vice presidential pick.
Do you think that Bernie Sanders can do enough to persuade his supporters to stop booing when Hillary Clinton's name is mentioned?
I am hopeful he can. It's my expectation that he will make his best efforts. The reality is that Senator Sanders' campaign has had a huge impact on the platform of the Democratic Committee, which we're adopting here today. This will be the most progressive platform of any Democratic Party convention in a generation. And I think Senator Sanders recognizes that if we retake the majority in the Senate, if Secretary Clinton is the next president, he has then the best chance to make the sort of difference he hopes to make going forward.
How important to Hillary Clinton's chances of winning the White House in November is it that during the course of this week, those Bernie Sanders supporters are persuaded to vote for her?
I think it's important. It's important for us to show party unity. It's important for us to show a convention to the national populace that's watching that is unified and positive and optimistic.
Can she win if she doesn't win them over?
She can win if she doesn't win them over, but not if she fails to win over a majority of them. It's important for us to have the energy and the engagement and the support of the millions of voters who supported Bernie Sanders in the caucuses and primaries.
Okay.
That's in contrast to the Republican convention in Cleveland, where Ted Cruz, the second place, refused to endorse Donald Trump.
Boos in Cleveland, and now I've heard boos here in Philadelphia as well. Okay, I want to ask you about this email scandal, and specifically since you sit on the Foreign Relations Committee, do you have credibility behind the idea that Vladimir Putin and the Russian government decided to release those emails into the public in order to damage Hillary Clinton's campaign?
I think it's truly troubling, the allegations that were reported in the New York Times this morning that Republican cyber hackers were responsible for breaking into the DNC system and for sending them out at this time. I haven't had a classified briefing on this yet. I know the FBI has opened an investigation. I do think it's troubling, the timing and the suggestion that Vladimir Putin and Russia is trying to interfere in American democratic politics.
Do you think it's possible? Do you think
it's possible?
Does it sound credible to you as somebody that sits on the Foreign Relations Committee?
I don't yet know if it's credible. It is troubling to me how Donald Trump has repeatedly expressed admiration, even affection, for Vladimir Putin, someone who has invaded a European nation and continues to occupy all of Crimea and the Ukraine, and to support a surreptitious ongoing war in the Ukraine. Our European allies are imposing sanctions against Russia, and the idea that he would even suggest that our commitment to our NATO allies isn't rock solid suggests to me that he just isn't ready to be President of the United States.
Okay, Senator Chris Coons, thanks very much for joining me here in Philadelphia. We will see whether this Democratic National Convention manages to become more unified over the next 4 days. Let's get other news now from around the world. Germany